Okay. Hi everyone. Assalamu alaikum. We are here for our second session, but before we delve into it, we have a sort of feedback form from the previous session that Talha just conducted. Mashal, could you please paste it in the chat? And if you guys can quickly go and fill the form, it's a feedback form for us so that we know कि हमने जो भी आपके साथ discussion किए हैं, जो भी बातें की हैं, उनमें से कोई चीज़ अगर miss हो गई है या something that you guys think कि हमें बेहतर करना चाहिए था, वो आप हम लोगों को बता सकते हैं उसके ज़रिए. So please, if you can see it, please fill out the form. It will just take maybe 2 to 3 minutes.
Fatma, we can't see it yet in the chat, the form.
Mishail, were you able to wait? Mishail, can you copy paste it in the chat, please?
Yes, Fatma, just give me a minute.
Okay, guys, just a minute. We are sharing the form.
Thank you guys for staying on for the second session. This is Talha speaking, by the way. The form is extremely short, and it gives us a good idea of what to start doing from now on, what to continue doing, what to stop doing. So it's very helpful in improving these sessions. So we would really appreciate it if you just filled it out. Thanks.
Shai, do we have the form?
Just a second, my internet is acting up, so it's taking a little longer. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm also grateful that the internet connection today is stable. I was worried about it.
Communication.
Yes, guys, as Dr. Salman just said in the chat, please encourage your friends to attend this session because it's going to be talking about how you can, provide feedback to the students, which as a TA, we have struggled previously. So I'm sure this will be beneficial for all of you.
Fatma, why don't you go ahead and start off the session, and once we get the feedback form, then you can just fill it in.
Maybe that will be distracting, I guess. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking to prefer doing it first. Or maybe, Michelle, we can do it at the end when I do it for my session, the feedback form, and then Talha's session can also.
I think that's a good idea because my windows keep crashing. Okay. So let's spend more time on that. Add the link later on.
Okay. Okay, guys, I'm just starting it then. Okay, hi guys. So feedback, in fact, effective feedback, quote unquote. This topic is my favorite because my MPhil thesis was also on this topic, so it's particularly exciting for me. So without further ado, let's delve into it. And by the end of this session, you guys will be able to identify some common issues that students face regarding the feedback. I have been a student, you are also a student, so kuch aise issues jo hum log isme mention karenge, I'm sure you guys must have faced it at some point, and so have I. And not just only issues, we'll also be talking about some strategies that we will be suggesting you. Aap usko dekh sakte hain, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I didn't want to share a bookish definition of feedback कि feedback होता क्या है, because there's a lot of research done on it और बहुत सारे authors ने इसकी बहुत सारी definitions भी दी हुई हैं. But feedback as a concept is just a guideline, is basically the guidance कि आपने किसी को guidance देनी है, और it's a process जिसके अंदर आप definitely you can tell the students that hey, this is what is wrong with your assignment. But the effective part is basically the suggestion and the improvement. कि आप उनको ये बता रहे हैं कि hey, this is what is wrong with it and here is how to fix it. And the basic goal of the feedback should be to leave the student with a clear-cut message कि ये मसला है और आपको इसको इस तरह से sort out करना है. So this is what make any feedback effective. So feedback के अलावा based on the types of assessment, हम लोग 2 points पे student को feedback दे सकते हैं. एक तो summative assessment होती है, which is basically the assessment of learning, जिसमें आप judge कर रहे होते हैं if the students have met the learning outcomes, और उन लोगों ने जो सीखना था, जो skill उनको सिखाना था, have they learned that or not. और ये basically high stakes होता है, और इसके अंदर आप student को final grade ही दे रहे होते हैं. And imagine आपने जो आपका कोई final exam है या midterm exam है, when you are done with it, how often do you get a feedback from an instructor or a TA on your midterm or final exam? We don't, because generally grade is the feedback, because it tells you okay, here you are, आपने इतना सीख लिया, अगर आपके 72% marks आए हैं, 70% marks आए हैं, तो ये skill की acquisition आपकी इतनी percentage है, right? So this is a summative feedback. Other than that, formative feedback is on formative assessment. For example, इसके अंदर आप student के learning process में help कर सकते हैं. So for example, अगर आप student से अगर एक essay की assignment है and you're asking them to submit first draft, so that can be your thing where you can give a feedback to students कि अच्छा ये आपका अभी first draft है, this is how you can improve it, you can give comments on it, आप उनको encourage कर सकते हैं, आप student को engage कर सकते हैं to in which they can really evaluate and orient their learning. और ये usually low stakes होती है. So you can clearly see कि summative और formative assessment में से feedback देने का margin किस में ज़्यादा है, because formative assessment is something जिसके अंदर आप उनको guide कर सकते हैं through the process, but summative assessment is more like a final thing. इसके ऊपर feedback देने का margin जो है वो कम होता है. Yeah, so these are some basics of the feedback that I wanted to cover before we delve into the real world scenarios जहाँ पे हमें feedback जो है वो students को देना होता है. So before we do the activity, I'm just going to quickly see the chat box in case we have something important. I can't seem to see the chat box. Yeah. No.
We don't have any questions right now.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to check. Okay, so guys, for the next slide, I want you guys to examine this email. This email is sent by a TA to a student. I want you guys to quickly read it. We'll give you just 2 minutes to read it, और उसके बाद फिर I'll ask some questions, and I will ask you, Talha, to unmute people who have their hands raised.
Sure.
Okay, so guys, quickly read it, 2 minutes. Okay, guys, if you are done reading it, I have some reflection questions for you guys, and I would really want to hear from you guys. So my first question is, what does it feel like to see this email in your inbox? So imagine, put yourself in a student's shoes, and this is an email that you received from your TA. How does that feel? So Adil has his hand raised. Talha, please allow him to speak.
Okay, so I think that if I see this email, I would be a little demotivated to learn more, and I think that at certain times it's targeting me personally instead of my work. So I think I would be a little sad at seeing this email, and I might not be willing to put in a course where the TA is being so mean to me.
Okay, that's fair.
So.
Okay, so we have another question. Thank you for your response, Adil. Let's ask someone else. Talha, could you please allow someone else to speak for the second question?
Jameel, you can talk now.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
अच्छा, तो ये ईमेल अगर मुझे मिल जाए ना तो मैं काइंडली मैं डीमोटिवेट हो जाऊंगा ना, और साथ में ये फील आया कि टीए जो है ना वो मेरे बैकग्राउंड को नहीं समझ रहा, सिर्फ मेरे अपफ्रंट को देख रहा है ना, तो मतलब मैंने लेट सबमिट किया तो बस उसी चीज पे मुझे होता है, मेरे बैकग्राउंड को नहीं देख रहा।
Right. Okay. Thank you, Jameel. Can we get another perspective for the third question? So the third question is, as a student, what do you think you might need more of or less of? Talha, can you allow? Yeah, Sanya, go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to say on the that the first line of the email says that the work is quite mediocre at best, and later on it goes on to talk about the structure and content of your essay, but it doesn't state specifically what is wrong about the structure or content of the essay. So rather than going into the details of the work, it is more like, as other people also mentioned, the TA is actually giving feedback on the person's personality rather than on the work. So that's just a thought.
Yeah, that's fair. Can we hear from Kashish? Talha, can you allow her to speak? Kashish Ali. Hi, Kashish. What are your thoughts about this email? Hi, Kashish. Can you are free to speak.
Do you want me to maybe move on to Osama? He also had his hand.
Yeah, maybe Osama. I can see the participants list.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I think the TA might be busy at this time, so it would be a better option for them to provide specific direction to the student. Like if they have recorded the problem, then it's better to suggest the student, if they cannot talk to them personally, that where they can find help for the specific problem that they're facing, maybe some reading material, or maybe highlight some specific portion of the lecture. That way, at least the student won't feel that they have been left to figure out things on their own. They will feel eventually that they've been helped at some level. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Osama. Yes, I think you all are right, and this email is a little too, straightforward and a little too scary. I think I will also be scared if I get an email like this. So guys, जिस तरह से आप लोगों की feelings हैं, उसी तरह से these are some of the statements that we collected from a research journal, जिसमें कुछ students ने बताया हुआ था कि how their TAs have not been very helpful. So you can see. So first thing says, no matter what I do, I always get a 72. I think the TA just gives me the same mark every time. So what's the point, right? So I have felt something like this at some point, and I'm sure some of you must have felt it too. So the second one is, I got my paper back and I have no idea where I went wrong. So again, koi instructions nahi hai ki how to improve something. And I don't even understand what she means by whatever the comment is. And then previous TAs only marked my ideas. Now I'm getting marked on organization, grammar, and clarity. Why does that even matter? That's not fair. And again, in the next sentence, I put hours into that paper and all I got was 2 lines of feedback. Not fair. So I think as a student, not fair is the first statement that we direct towards whoever is grading or whoever is the instructor, either TA or instructor. Pehli cheez hi dimag mein aati ki yaar, this is not fair. And the last thing is, last time I got 84% and the comment was excellent. This time I got 74% and I thought I did the same thing. Why? So why? And that's not fair. These are the particular sentiments of students that I have felt, and some of you must have felt that too at some point. So based on these things, here are some commonly identified issues जो कि students face करते हैं usually feedback हासिल करने में. या तो feedback बहुत general होता है, vague होता है, जिसमें आपको comments मिल रहे होते हैं, good, well done, excellent, hey, keep it up. So that doesn't really help in terms of improving. या फिर वो बहुत overwhelming होता है, just like the email that we just saw. यानी there is no guidance whatsoever, कोई suggestions भी नहीं है improvement के लिए, और बहुत ज़्यादा focus है on the negative. और पिछले email में आपने देखा होगा कि the TA was also saying that पिछली assignment के अंदर भी you did not put your roll number on it. So, you know, while you're communicating about one problem, you're also using another पिछली assignment का problem भी use कर रहे हैं. So, things like this, they don't really help. And also unrelated to the assessment criteria. So this is something that we're going to be talking about like थोड़ी सी आगे. And then either the feedback is too sophisticated, just like we said, either it is good, positive comments or stuff like that. So these were more like the issues जो कि हम सब लोग face करते हैं or the students face. And then a few strategies now. सबसे पहले तो I wanted to put this scenario in front of you guys where Ali keeps up with his great performance when working alone, but avoids being a team player. So this is a scenario that we have at hand. So इस situation के अंदर as a TA, what will be your goal जब आपने इस student को feedback देना है? So again, Talha, I would request you to allow people to speak.
Sure. Can we get a few hands raised?
Yes. So we have a scenario at hand. I would like to hear from you guys कि इस situation में कैसा feedback देंगे. So we have
Anam, you're allowed to talk.
Yeah. So basically, this is a really challenging situation because last time in the course I TA'd, there were a lot of students coming up to me and saying, "Okay, wo kaam nahi kar raha, ye nahi ho raha," and it was a lot that had to do with personal working styles rather than the problem at hand. So usme what I feel was that it was important ke ek to if somebody wants to be like the team player, they should be allowed to. Matlab har group mein, whenever a group is formed, there is a person who's doing a little more than the rest of the people. There is always that one person. So I think and there are people, and most of the time वो यही होता है कि वो वही लोग होते हैं who are actually understanding या conceptually उनके थोड़े concepts ज़्यादा better clear हैं, तो they would say कि हाँ मैं कर लेता हूँ. So I think instead of feeding animosity among team members, it's better that we try to collaborate and give them ideas on how they can perform better as a team. या आप divide कर लो. अब online platform में it was very difficult because obviously I could not see them and they could not be physically there to do the work with them. So it is a challenge, matlab because there were a lot of students who were complaining कि ये काम नहीं कर रहे हैं या इन्होंने हमें last moment पे ये fees दिया है. So लेकिन इसमें भी a lot of students, what we told them was that if you have a problem when the group is formed, you need to inform us well before the deadline of the work submission arrives, क्योंकि उस वक्त बहुत देर हो चुकी होती है and you can't resolve a lot of issues when you have the deadline yet tomorrow and you're saying कि इसने ये काम नहीं किया है. So and then definitely if in case and we generally ask students कि if you really feel that if the other person is not putting in any work, like if you're doing work, there has to be some evidence that if you're putting in some effort. So अगर किसी ने कुछ भी नहीं किया, then you can directly inform the instructor about it, because in our course it was a rule कि अगर इस तरह का कोई case है तो you need to inform the instructor about it, because he does not want to unfairly grade someone कि किसी की वजह से किसी और का grade suffer करे.
So sorry to cut you. I mean, I hear what you are saying, and this is like very pertinent thought. But here in this scenario, we are talking about Ali. So आपने जो मुझे अभी बात की है, that's very pertinent about the entire group. कि पूरे group के साथ हम किस तरह से deal कर सकते हैं. So this is just one kid, Ali. This is one student. वो एक चीज के साथ struggle कर रहा है, right? So I would really try to put your request you to put yourself in Ali's shoes for a moment and think what is that he needs at this moment. So if you have any thoughts about that.
I think he needs more of an initiative that would allow him to come into the group rather than distance himself further.
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe some part of the course, if you think that, because everything, for example, in presentations, somebody is there who will give it, somebody is there who will just present it. So I think you can ask them which part of the presentation or the course instrument they think that they would better fit in. So I mean, this will allow them to actually be more comfortable in delivering their content rather than being completely isolated.
Okay, thank you, Anam. So while we are, sorry. No. Yeah, so while we're talking about this, thank you, Anam, for your input. But I would really like to sort of direct you towards another direction. So when we see कि Ali का ये मसला है, so Anam, I know you suggested something. So इसके अंदर, if you are, imagine you are going to talk to Ali about it. So yeah, so before even directing to the instructor, definitely directing the student to instructor is always an option. But maybe having this situation at hand, अगर आपको ये scenario सामने आ रहा है, तो you can divide it into two parts, like something that Ali is doing, ठीक है, and something that Ali is not doing. So something that he is doing is कि वो अकेले काम बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, ठीक है, and he is unable to be a team player. वो काम team के अंदर काम नहीं ठीक कर रहा, right? So maybe, you know, really focusing your feedback on something that he is really struggling with, और जो दूसरा part है जो वो अच्छा कर रहा है, you can use it to, you know, praise him for something कि hey Ali, you are doing this very well, but what about this? What is it that you are unable to do in the team? अपनी टीम में आप क्या नहीं कर पा रहे हैं? So this is something that I really wanted you to bring your attention towards, कि जब भी आपके पास कोई situation hand में आती है, so you can always take out the struggling part and the good part, and that is how you can direct your feedback. And again, going back to the initial concept of feedback, कि हमने उनको ये तो बताना है कि आप ये नहीं कर रहे, but ये भी बताना है कि आप इसको कैसे कर सकते हैं. So here, for example, maybe you can, you know, suggest Ali to talk to his team members, or maybe encourage his team members to talk to him. So something like this. There can be multiple solutions about it. So इसी तरह का एक और scenario I have. इसमें है Zara makes up as one of the great team members in terms of performance, but struggles with her communication skills. So Zara को आपने क्या अब suggest करना है? So another response from the audience, and this time I would want you to utilize this method that I just shared with you guys, के divided into two parts. एक तो वो चीज जो वो कर रही है, और एक वो चीज जो वो नहीं कर पा रही है. So how are you going to give her feedback? So Talha, if you can allow someone from the audience, if anyone has thoughts about it, please raise your hands. Yes, we have Osama.
Yeah, thank you again. I think there's some sort of systematic error usually when we're working in groups. And one thing that I found quite helpful is to, apart from the final assignment or the project work, there should be a write-up from each student. That is a very good way of ensuring that students who have really worked hard, they can also reflect all their workings, all their methodologies onto a paper. And as a TA, it allows us to really judge who has been working very well and outside the box, and really, you know, it shows if they struggle hard for that work. It also provides an incentive for students who are working hard that, look, your work will not go in vain. There is another mechanism running in parallel which can allow us to judge your hard work in a much more fair manner. So especially if, example, Zara is a student who's struggling with the communication skill, this can also help her out in like writing out all the stuff first. And you know, if she cannot communicate verbally, maybe she can communicate in writing all the work that she's been doing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Osama. That was a very on point response. That so she's struggling with her communication skills, and this is your suggestion that you are going to give her. Excellent. That's what I just wanted to go through with you guys, so that you know कि आप अपना specific feedback जो है वो किस तरह से देख सकते हैं. So while we are talking about goals, there is one larger goal. और ये larger goal, it not necessarily be related to TAs only, but यहाँ पे I want you guys to imagine something for me. So for example, I am a TA with Dr. Sabi. So he's a very cool professor, by the way. शायद आप लोग में से कुछ लोग उनको जानते भी हों. So he's a professor of physics, right? So imagine I am a physics TA with him. और the learning outcome of their course is कि by the end of this course, students को ये experiment करना आना चाहिए, ठीक है? और मेरे हाथ में students की जब assignments आ रही हैं grade करने के लिए, वो review करने के लिए, उसके अंदर उन्हें procedure के अंदर I started to pick out the grammatical errors. I mean, seriously, एक physics का student है जो कि इसका जो learning outcome है वो है to be able to perform this experiment, and I'm telling him कि यहाँ पे आपके grammatical error है, यहाँ पे second form ठीक नहीं है, third form ठीक नहीं है. So this really brings us to, as a TA, understanding the learning outcomes of the course. So yahan pe, there is a small piece of information for you. Usually when instructors are designing a course, they try to, have this triangle, be intact. Unke jo learning outcomes hai, they're aligned with the assessments and teaching and learning activities. So I wouldn't want to spend so much time on it. This is just a piece of information for you, because this is not a TA's job, right? But you can definitely help, because you are there to help the instructor. And here is how you can help. So before grading, you can clarify with the instructor कि जो हम assessment कर रहे हैं, for example, if there is a quiz या कोई essay है या कुछ भी कोई भी assessment, if instructor has put it in line, so you can ask them कि what particular learning outcome are we trying to meet. And even if there are no learning outcomes defined, you can still ask the instructor that what are we trying to gauge. What this will do for you and as for the instructor as well, it will really help you guys to direct your feedback towards that particular assessment criteria. And then again, asking the instructor, you can ask the instructor के कोई guidelines या rubric वगैरह कुछ अगर है तो वो आपको suggest कर सकते हैं, because it will really help you again to focus your feedback to the assessment criteria. And again, if the students are struggling with something particular, then you can always refer them ke course outline ya course content mein aap unko refer kar sakte hain ki hey, this particular area covers this topic. Maybe you might want to have a look at this particular area, and in the next session you will learn more about learning outcomes and course outlines ko kis tarah se read karte hain. So I'll just leave it at that for now. So again, I have another scenario for you guys, but this time I will be asking you guys to quickly fill a Google form for me. I'll just copy this link into the chat. Where's the chat? Why can't I see the chat? Yeah, now I can. So I'm just quickly, yeah, you guys can go to this Google form and please fill this form. It will just take like 2 minutes or maybe 1 minute. I'm just going to quickly go and check your responses.
Fatma, you're on mute.
Yes, sorry, I lost the internet connection for a while. So have we got the response? Yeah.
No, Fatma, we don't have the link yet.
You don't have, oh God, wait. Internet sucks. There you go. Now you have it?
Yeah, we got it. So are they supposed to fill this out?
Yes, you guys are supposed to fill it out and we'll discuss the responses here in a minute. I'll just give you guys another 2 minutes. So, जो भी fill कर रहे हैं. Okay, so let's come back to the responses altogether. I'll share my screen. Okay, so here are some responses that we have. So Sarah has been constantly missing her deadlines due to some complications in her personal life. So पहले तो आप लोगों ने identify करना था कि आपका goal क्या होना चाहिए. So are you going to help her cope, solve her problems? Okay, someone said solve her problems, but can you really do that if someone is struggling with something in their general life and you are just a TA? I mean, if they are your friends, then maybe you can, but in general, being a TA, can you really solve somebody's problem? That's a question. And then help her cope with her problems. Okay, 19 students say, okay, you will help her in coping her problem. I mean, of course, if they are academic, then maybe you can, but can you really help someone solve their personal problems? I mean, I'm just asking. And then encourage her. Okay, 46 students say. And then 73 students, which is 91% of the audience, it says, suggest her some ways to handle the work. And I think that is fairly a better goal as compared to the rest of the options, because you are suggesting her to sort of some coping strategies or some sort. And then the second question is about what kind of feedback will you be giving to her. So ask her to concentrate more on classes. So okay, and then give her extensions. So guys, giving extensions to students, I mean, this is up to you. I mean, there is no right answer, there is no correct answer to this, but again, giving a student an extension, I would like to ask you guys, would you be, how to phrase it? So like, I want to ask, can you give a student extension on your own feelings, on the basis of your own feelings, or you should be consulting with the instructor first? So if anyone can, share their experience, if they have had some sort of similar experience. Talha, can you please allow someone who's raising their hands to share their thoughts about it?
Who's raising their hands?
We have one. Adil.
Okay, so I think that we should probably consult with the instructor first, because the instructor has some plan in mind, and I think that because the instructor can also like give an overarching opinion on this student and their possible problems, so we can like come up with a solution which like deals with the student particularly, rather than just simply giving an extension. Because I also feel that some students take advantage of the sympathies of instructors and TAs. So like giving an extension off the bat might not be very wise to do.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Adil. I think another response to be, thinking about is directing the student to the instructor. I mean, this is also a fair option, but again, you're also there to support the students, right? So as a TA, I think the third option, which most of you guys have opted for, like 75% of the audience says, 93%, says that listen to her problems first and suggest a solution maybe. So I think as a TA, maybe this can be a better approach to go for. Otherwise, instructor is always definitely there to guide you guys. Okay, so that's it from this form, guys. We will be moving on to the next part. I'll just share my screen again. Yeah. Okay, so we have examined this scenario. Other than that, guys, providing feedback, to be honest, nothing too, too preachy or something. You have all been student, I have been a student. We know how it works in higher education, in university. It's basically all of us are adapting to new ways of learning and knowing and understanding, basically. And research also backs it up. And this is really it when we are in, undergrad or in our postgrad degrees. Every day is a new learning, is a new challenge. So being a TA with that in mind, I think what as a TA you should be doing is really facilitating the students' learning through the process of communication, and help them wherever you can, and of course instructor is always there to sort of help you guys. I see Miral's hand raised. Talha, can we take her comment or whatever she has to say?
Yeah, you can speak now, Miral.
Miral, can you speak? I mean, we can hear you. Okay, so I think Miral is unable to speak for some reason. Maybe her mic is problematic, or I don't know. Anyhow, coming back to this, I really like this meme for some reasons because it really tells you कि आपने feedback देना कैसे है students को. So quickly, let's just go through it. Okay, you start with the praise and then add some minor changes and then layer some more praise on it, and then adding the meat of criticism is really the part कि आपने consider it like wrapping a gift. You are giving them a gift as a suggestion, but you're really अंदर बेशक जो भी हो, but you are really trying to tell them कि hey, here are your strengths and this is what that needs to be changed a little, and here is how you can change it. So this will really make some sort of a better approach towards giving them a feedback. And other than that, guys, instructor is always there for you guys, so you can always go back to them. So when Talha was talking about communication in the previous session, so it's more like कि आप कि communication सिर्फ और सिर्फ students के साथ ही नहीं है, it's also with the instructor. So you can always ask the instructor कि they can help you guide through this, और आप सब कोई एक assignment grade कर लें, और फिर students को feedback देने का जो तरीका है, that just the way you saw in the meme, you can always praise it a little and then tell them कि ये गलत है, इसको इस तरह से सही करना है. And students को जब भी हम feedback देंगे, as human beings inherently we don't like to be critiqued. हमें अच्छा नहीं लगता. So just keep it in mind and always try to praise, like sort of cover it up with some praise. And the last point about these strategies is like, really try to ask your instructor if there is a key or a guideline or a rubric. Not all of the instructors use it, but this is just an example in case you want to know कि rubric होता क्या है और लगता कैसे है. So most of you might have had the chance to see it in your own courses कि जिसमें इसमें आपको बिल्कुल clear guidelines मिल जाती हैं. If you follow this, you will get this percentage of grade. So this is like a really helpful way of helping the students out कि उनको किस तरह से अपनी assignment में excel करना है. And then this particular point, I really wanted to talk about it since you guys will be using Zoom और फिर a group of students के साथ feedback देना. So इसमें I had 2 suggestions for you guys. Maybe you can conduct breakout room sessions and you will be learning more about it in the next session कि आप किस तरह से breakout room sessions कर सकते हैं बच्चों के साथ. But this will be really helpful in giving a group feedback to a group, let's say. And then the second suggestion is जिस तरह से अभी आपने मुझे देखा, मैंने on the spot आप लोगों से एक छोटा सा form fill करवाया और उसके बाद I showed you guys the results and we discussed the results all together. So I think this is a really good approach to discussing something with a larger group, just the way we are doing it with you, just the way Talha did, जिसमें polls हैं, इसमें आपके पास clicker, और you can always Google these options कि student response system कौन से होते हैं, and you can also suggest these to your instructor as well. उनको भी आप उनके लिए भी easy बना सकते हैं if you want to suggest them. And other than that, guys, larger group के अंदर feedback देने के लिए, I know हम अगर एक ग्रुप में हो तो हमें भी अच्छा नहीं लगेगा कि सबके सामने हमें कुछ बताया जा रहा है कि जो हम गलत कर रहे हैं. So it's better if you give a general feedback to the entire group and then really go just like Ali and Zara in the previous scenes, or even Sarah in the previous scenarios. You can go and ask them something that they are struggling with and then something that they are doing good. So जिसमें से आप उनकी strength उठा सकते हैं और दूसरे में से आप उनका जो है वो उनकी weakness को थोड़ा सा highlight कर सकते हैं और suggest कर सकते हैं how can you improve this or be better at that. So, and honestly, a little compliment goes, a long way. और छोटी सी भी बात अगर हम किसी को कुछ compliment दे देते हैं students को, so it really goes a long way. So being a TA, maybe you can do that. That's just a suggestion via the school comic that I really like. And do not delay it because of course आपकी assignments का time जो है वो बहुत tight होता है, आपको उनको proper time के अंदर feedback देना होता है so that they can improve. So time is definitely your most important resource in it. And this question that we already talked about कि student को हमें कब instructor के पास भेज देना चाहिए. So इसकी बहुत सारे cases हो सकते हैं, बहुत सारी scenarios हो सकते हैं, and it also depends upon a TA's capacity कि वो students को कितना handle कर सकते हैं और उनको किस वक्त student को instructor की तरफ भेज देना चाहिए. So it's like कि आप पहले start में ही आप instructor से पूछ सकते हैं कि what are the possible scenarios, because you may be TAing something for the first time, a course for the first time, but an instructor has been an instructor for quite a while, so they can have a better idea कि what kind of situations happen, और फिर this will really help you build your capacity कि मुझे कितना feedback देना है. And again, directing you as a TA towards your instructor, again you can ask them कि मुझे कितना feedback देने की permission है या मैं कितना दे सकता हूँ. And honestly guys, setting up these boundaries for you will really help you understand कि when the things are beyond your dominion, आप कब उनको instructor की तरफ भेज सकते हैं और कब नहीं. And there is no one formula fit for all. It is going to be, variable for all of you guys, depending upon what course are you teaching, what kind of instructor you are working with, or which department are you in. So sciences वालों के लिए लैदा होंगे, social sciences वालों के लिए लैदा होंगे, etc. etc. And then this is for your own suggestion के आपके लिए suggestion है कि जब भी आप quizzes mark कर रहे हैं या कुछ भी कर रहे हैं, so try to take a break in between so that you can always start with a fresh eyes. This will really help you be more objective in your criteria. So yeah, that's an advice. And lastly, I think I would want to hear more from you guys. Talha, if you can allow someone to ask if they have any questions or any comments, they are welcome.
Sure. Fatma, can we use this time because we only have 3-4 minutes, to fill out the feedback form?
Yes, definitely. But I really want to quickly have just at least 1 or 2 questions so that, we can just close it.
Feel free, everybody, if you have any questions.
Yeah, please raise your hands and Talha will have you guys speak.
Yeah, so we have Kaniz, Amna. Kaniz, I am going to allow you to talk. You can speak now.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
So, actually, I have a question regarding the grading, especially contestation with the students. When I need to grade a huge theory-based assignment like 10 to 20 pages, there is also long derivations. First problem is that when I need to grade that assignment, if one suppose I highlight the mistakes using PDF editor on my personal notebook, it takes huge time. Then after finalizing the assignment, when the student need to contest with me, they need a huge verification on the email at the end. They also need a Zoom meeting. Is there any alternative how I can sort out with this problem, which can also save the time and also clarify the student where they did mistakes? Because it's very easy to highlight the mistake on hard copy, where I can easily explain them face to face. There is your problem this time, the next step. But it is very difficult to to organize the Zoom meeting for 100 above students or more and less. Even I have assignments in the last semester, lab reports of 40 pages with a huge theory involved. So I think just there should be some easier or better way how we can get rid of this problem, because it take suppose if a lab report has huge weightage, roughly 20% of the course. It's also very important for the student who is also right, but the TA who is supposed to grade the assignments or lab reports also right when there is deadline of some we need to submit the results on the time. So I think there should be some alternative or any other option you can suggest. Because MCQ is very simple to grade MCQs or 1 or 2 liners when there are huge assignments, long assignments, or long theoretical questions also involve derivation, physical reasoning, or the science and reasoning. So it is
okay.
Any solution?
Okay, so Kaniz, thank you for your question. I think I want to hear from someone in the audience if they have any suggestions about it. If anyone from the audience have a suggestion about Kaniz's problem, then please raise your hand and we'll allow you to speak. Yes, we have one hand raised. So Hania, I'm allowing you to speak. Yeah, you are allowed now.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think a good way that I used previously is you can open up a live document, either on Google Docs or through Outlook, and you can make the changes along with them. They also allow for mathematical equations. So you can show them whatever you're doing or any changes that you're making along the way. You can also add comments. So it's like you're adding and highlight or leaving comments on the side of a physical copy. And it works pretty well for both scientific papers or more theory-based things like English literature or economics.
Okay, thank you for your suggestion. Kaniz, do you think it was helpful hearing from Hania? I mean, yeah.
I know it's helpful, but not too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, Kaniz, can I ask? Can I ask you that maybe we can get back to you with a better suggestion, because I had almost a similar suggestion that Hania gave you. Okay, आप screen share कर ले और उनके साथ you can help them market. But if you really want a better suggestion, that maybe you will have to allow me to get back to you with a better answer. Is that okay?
Okay. Yes, yes, fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kaniz. Okay, so guys, Talha shared a feedback form का link chat के अंदर. ये for the communication bit of the अभी जो webinar था उसके बारे में है. And I am sharing another link which is about this feedback thing. So if you can fill this one.
I have shared it already, Fatma.
अच्छा, वो feedback. Okay, feedback वाला भी कर दिया आपने?
हाँ.
Okay. ओके सो गाइज, इनका पर्पस यही है इन दोनों फॉर्म्स का कि आप लोग हमें बता सकें कि हम लोग क्या चीज बेहतर कर सकते हैं, ताकि अगली बार इफ वी प्लान समथिंग सिमिलर तो हम स्पेसिफिक एरियाज को टारगेट कर सकें. सो इट विल रियली हेल्प अस टू इम्प्रूव एंड रियली केटर टू योर नीड्स. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर बीइंग अ ग्रेट ऑडियंस. सो Mashail, over to you now.
We are going for a break, right? Yeah. So we're going to take a 15-minute break, or Fatma, should we resume at 3:30?
I think we had our session scheduled for 3:15 next, or 3:30.
It was for 3:30.
Okay. So maybe we can like give a 15 minutes break or 10 minutes and then you can start.
Yeah, we can start early as well. It's fine.
Okay.
So I guess we will resume at 3:50.
We will be back. Yeah. So a request to all participants: if you plan on leaving right now, please be back by 3:15 so that we can get done earlier.
Yeah.
So last session for today, which is on course management, it is going to start at 3:50.